that was raised during the EIS process was the amount of school-age kids that would be added to the area as a result of the housing. When does the public school component of the project get built under the modified plan?
So it is as it was, in the sense that it's the first building to be constructed in phase 2, which again is B5, and that building will house a PSIS public school, and it's approximately 100,000 square feet. We're building such a public school in Lower Manhattan right now, and I don't want to commit for the Board of Ed in terms of what the size of that school is, but as I understand it, it's approximately 600 seats in terms of what a 100,000 square foot school provides.
Thank you. And since the ESDC board and presumably the MTA board have already tentatively agreed to the changes proposed in the modified plan, what's the point of having a public hearing? Please describe the public review process for modifying general project plans.
Sure. What the ESDC board did was it approved a modified general project plan with the understanding that that modified general project plan would be made available to the public and comments would be obtained on the general project plan. Our expectation and the reason why we're having the public hearing and the comment period after the public hearing is to solicit comments. It's possible that the board, when we go back to the board in September as we expect, it's possible the board will affirm the plan as it is. It's very possible that the board will affirm the plan in a modified fashion based on the comments received at the hearing.
Thank you. So that offers reassurance that the comments received will be truly considered and possibly influence the design further.
Right. And I would like to add that all the comments are presented to the directors of the corporation before a decision is made on the plan.
Okay. What guarantees are there that the future phase or phase 2 of the project will be built at all?
There's one plan, and that one plan is basically ESDC and Forest City is striving to accomplish the one plan. For Forest City to receive a return on its investment, the only way it can do that is to build out the project plan. They, as Marianne mentioned before, they've made a huge investment in this project, and the only way they get a return on that investment is to build. So there's an expectation that the project will be built out as quickly as it possibly can.
So profit is the only...
No, please. No, we're not doing that here.
I don't have any respect.
Excuse me. There's no cross conversation or we'll shut this meeting down. Sir, thank you. Are there incentives for completing work ahead of schedule and or disincentives? You know, guys, excuse me, sir, you're taking time away from everyone else. We have their time, we have their attention, let's make the most use of it. Are there incentives for completing work ahead of schedule and or disincentives for not adhering to project timetables? What happens if the schedule slips?
There are no incentives for completing the project sooner, but there are penalties that are imposed if certain phases of the project aren't completed within a certain time frame. The time frame for those penalties is different than the expected time frame, which is the 10-year build-out of the project. And the reason for that is that, like any big project, development of the project is going to be somewhat subject to economic conditions. I don't think any of us could really predict what the state of the capital markets or state of the residential markets will be, in the coming years.
The legal notice for the modified general project plan, which was available at the ESDC's website, says that a local development corporation, or LDC, will have to be created. That will be the entity that subleases the acquired arena parcel to an affiliate of FCRC known as Arena Company, in quotes. Who will sit on the board of that LDC? Can a member of the public be appointed to that board?
The LDC has been created. We have not yet had the inaugural meeting of the board of the LDC, but the board will have a 6-member board. 3 members will be appointed by the governor. 3 members are appointed by JDA, which is an affiliate of the Empire State Development Corporation. The purpose of the LDC and the purpose of the board, quite frankly, is limited to the financing for the arena. The LDC board is not going to get involved in the project planning. It's not going to get involved in the housing components of the project. Its sole purpose is really as a financing vehicle to assist with the development of the arena.
And that means the community
Excuse me.
should have a representative on.
No, Gloria, please. Come on, Gloria, you know better. Section G of the June 23, 2009 Modified General Project Plan refers to the economic impact of the project and provides specific dollar projections for revenue to benefit the city and state. On what basis were those numbers calculated? Can we get further justification for them?
ESDC has staff members that do economic impact analysis for the corporation, and there are certain models that they use. Basically what they do is they sort of plug in expected construction costs, they look at what benefits are being provided, and then based on that model they reach certain determinations as to what benefits are expected for both the city and the state. So those calculations were done and reflected in the 2006 General Project Plan. We're constantly looking at that analysis and we're constantly updating that analysis. But quite frankly, the cost of the project has increased since 2006. So I would expect that the fiscal benefits to the city and the state in terms of tax revenues will probably increase somewhat.
Follow up.
In that regard, when we had looked at the numbers in 2006, we did not get the backup behind the numbers. And there is a sense that maybe those assumptions have changed dramatically in some cases over the past 3 years, given the economic crisis we've been experiencing over the last year. And we haven't seen what the new numbers are or the basis for what the changes would have been. And in terms of evaluating the public benefit of this project, which is considerable and many-fold in many directions besides economically, it would be helpful to have the current analysis, the previous analysis, and the assumptions that are made in deriving that. And in that regard, some of the questions we've gotten have been to evaluate the decline in the housing market and the effect on taxes that may result from it, for one. Other comments we've gotten have been more amorphous, such as change in architecture to the extent that the original design was viewed as an exciting new architectural plan, although certainly not finalized at that point, certainly not finalized at this point, so it may not be fair to ask you that question. But to the extent that folks are thinking that the architecture of the project is important to it, and all of the other aspects of the public benefit, it would be helpful to have stated in one place all of those public benefits, what they were anticipated to be originally, and how they may have changed based upon new assumptions and changes in design. I don't know how much of that you can speak to tonight, but certainly folks would be very interested in hearing that before the hearing next week.
As I mentioned before, we're constantly looking at the impacts. We're constantly looking at the numbers for the projects. We could certainly take a look and see what type of additional information we can make available. I'm not sure there's information we can make available before next week, but we will be going back to our board, as I said, in September, and hopefully we can make some additional information available